Blake, what's up, man?
Palake, yeah. Not the first time I've heard that one.
I'm sure. Hey, the last show started with Aaron, man. This is
No
getting
way.
to be perfect.
Did it really?
Yeah. So what's up?
So I'll just read you my question. It's, how do I let this wall that I've built up between me and my wife connecting on an intimate level down? And it is connection that I do desire and is available with her. But also while letting go of my desire for lustful connection elsewhere.
Tell me more.
I mean, I feel like I could sit here
like
and
lustful
tell
connection,
you,
like you want to sleep with other people.
Maybe not quite to that degree. But I mean,
you just find other people sexually attractive.
Yes, but I mean, I feel like my thoughts get, even deeper than that. It's a lot of curiosity, I think, and like, so I mean, for example, if I found somebody attractive and I felt like they gave me like a glimpse of they may be somewhat attracted to me, like there's a part of me that wants to entertain it.
That would make you normal. Like if I see somebody who's attractive and they either direct and say, I think you look handsome or you look great, or I can tell just with that glint in their eye. And by the way, I'm one of the worst on planet Earth at telling that. I'm the worst. But that's supposed to feel good.
Yeah.
I would be something dysfunctional in me if that did not feel good. What comes next is, do I decide to meditate on that and invent scenarios in my mind where we engage in hooking up and making out and sleeping together and doing just going down the rabbit hole.
Right. And I think that's where I have found myself. I do, my imagination goes down that rabbit hole.
Okay. So that's you imagining that you're sleeping with other people or wanting to hook up with other people.
I guess so.
Not guess so. Just like, so I'm leading you in a particular direction because good for you. You're not the first guy I've talked to about this. Talked to countless guys. But you have to take 1,000% full ownership of this thing.
Yeah.
Front stop. Like, I like being in the presence of beautiful women, and I like feeling noticed, and I like feeling attractive, and I like feeling like they would be interested in me. And then I like fantasizing about furthering that connection. You have to take full ownership of that. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can. I'm pretty, I feel like I try to live my life without making excuses and just calling a spade. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, how long have you been married?
4 years. Coming up on 4 years.
Does your wife know that you like to flirt or that you love it when other people think you're attractive?
No. And that's it. I don't even really flirt. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't engage in that. I think it's just, yeah.
So the intimacy you're seeking is hidden beneath the secrets you're keeping.
So you think I should tell her?
I would not. There's got to be some lead into this. If you just sit down after dinner tonight, like, by the way, you know what I love to do?
Right.
Fantasize about sleeping with your friends. Like, nope, not going to go well, and I wouldn't recommend that conversation like that.
Right.
But y'all have created a relationship where she doesn't fully know you, and I'm 1,000% confident that you don't fully know her.
I agree.
And so y'all are living this parallel lives, and my guess is you thought that actually having someone that would have sex with you would solve all of this, didn't you?
For sure.
And it probably made it worse.
Yeah.
Is your wife the only person you've ever been with?
When I was like 19, there was one other girl.
Okay. So how long have you, do you struggle with pornography?
I have in the past. I've got a accountability partner now. And I'm wishy-washy on that because it's been a struggle in the past, but for like the past month, it's actually been very well. So
Okay. Um, I feel like there's something else here, or maybe not. Maybe I'm like, what is it about? Have you and your wife ever, like, just in a moment of like getting to know each other, and I'm trying to think of like creating an atmosphere of eros, of desire in your marriage? Hey,
I
have
don't
y'all?
think.
Go ahead.
No, I don't. I was just going to answer your question. I don't really think so. Like you're talking about, like kind of spontaneous.
No, I mean
Or,
spontaneousness and playfulness. That's a part of healthy sexuality.
right.
But I'm thinking beneath that, like if y'all have never talked about like what's like your wildest fantasy with me?
Mm,
What's like the outfit that you could just imagine that I come in wearing that you would die laughing, and the outfit you would love for me to walk in wearing one day? Like what are smells
mm,
and sensations that get you fired up? What
okay.
are like you see what I'm saying? Like we're edging into I want to learn about you.
Mm, yeah.
Not just hey, it's Wednesday, we have missionary sex, we both punch our card, I want more, she wants less, and then we go about our day because that's just the way marriage is. What a horrific life to live.
Yeah.
But it starts with, and here's the deal: you start having it starts in your head, and then it goes to the
Yeah.
computer, and then it gets recursive, which just means it goes back and forth and back and forth, and it creates its own energy.
Mhm.
And you are on a pile of dry kindling. And I'm telling you right now, one day somebody's going to come by and drop a match on that,
Mm,
which will be somebody at work that texts you back, and she's hilarious, and she thinks you're real funny.
right.
And then you text her back, and then y'all text each other back. I can think
Yeah.
on like one hand the number of guys that I know that were like, I'm going to go have an affair.
Yeah.
Almost everyone I talk to is like, dude, I don't know how we ended up in this hotel.
Mm, yeah.
Do you have somebody that you're already texting back and forth with?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And well, but I do want to add that is something I have done in the past.
Okay.
So I want to be upfront about that, so you kind of know where I'm coming from.
Tell me about it.
It was actually an ex-girlfriend, and it was exactly what you said. I believe it, and without being naive to it, I knew there was a risk, but she texted me and said she thought she saw me, and no, you didn't see me. It was out of town, whatever. And one thing led to another, and then we started talking more regularly, whatever. And that was when I was maybe 19, 20 years old, and I was with. I've been with my wife since I was 16, so it was during the time of dating my wife.
You've been with her when you were 16, but you hooked up with somebody else when you were 19?
Right.
Does she know you hooked up with somebody else?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. So y'all were together, so you cheated on when you were 19?
Yes.
Okay. So you've got a history.
Right.
My question for you, I guess, ultimately is you're not alive in your own life.
Mm.
What are things that make you come alive? Why are you settling for less than? And you're settling for imaginary life.
What would be an example? I don't know if I fully understand. Like,
When's the last time you and your wife just like went on a long hike and y'all laughed so hard you had to like double over because you couldn't breathe? When's the
years,
last
probably.
When's the last time you walked in the bedroom and your wife just flashed you?
Right.
When's the last time you sent flirty text? When's the last time do you have kids?
No, not yet.
When's
One
the
on
last
the
time
way.
you just went and did the dishes?
Yeah.
Like Eros, like a house of, we're cultivating desire in this house.
Mm.
It's a playful home. It's a laughter-filled home. It's not just a texting and watching Netflix home.
Yeah.
It's a, hey, I've got this crazy fantasy that I'm never going to do, but I got to say it out loud. And y'all have a relationship where she can be like, all right, let me hear it. And then it gets curious, not judgmental. Like, all right, so I need to know, like, what about that sounds, because there's so much trust in the bounds of that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the way you said cultivating desire. And like I said from the start, I struggle letting her see that side of me of, where I want, we are an intimate moment, maybe not sex specifically, but, I'm just looking at her and I feel inside like I just want to look her in the eyes and grab her face and say, I love you. But like,
why don't
for whatever reason,
why don't you?
I don't know. It's so hard for me. I don't know.
Okay. That's where the challenge is.
Okay.
Because the cheap dime store substitute is pornography. The cheap dime store, like not even dime store, the cheap nickel store substitute is just sitting around fantasizing in your head and then masturbating and then calling it a day and moving on with your life.
That makes sense.
Not having this home that is just pulsing with laughter and love. And by the way, throw two kids in that, of course it waxes and wanes. It's hard.
Right.
But I can't think of anything more fun and more challenging and more that pushes my buttons in the good ways and the bad ways, the hard ways, like cultivating desire with deadlines and work and children and kids and school schedules. But we are going to continue to scratch and claw at cultivating desire here. And it changes over time. And by the way, I'll point the finger at you. Dude, if you ever feel like you want to grab your wife by the face and look her in the eye and say, I love you, and give her a kiss, and you hesitate, bro, you got to dig into that.
Yeah.
And she has created a world where you couldn't in a million years. Have you ever heard of the Dr. John Delony erotic envelope system?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's amazing. It's absolutely free. Do you want a copy of it?
Yeah, I'd love that.
All right. All you have to do is this. I'm not even going to give it to you because I don't have anything to give. It's a kind of a joke. Go to Walgreens and get an envelope. It costs 8 cents. And then you write 5 to 10 things that you want to try. And you put it in that envelope. And she writes 5 to 10 things you want to try. And you put it in that envelope. And commit to once a week, once a month, whatever. We're going to randomly draw something out of that envelope. And we're going to either try it, or if you or her is like, I don't know how this is physically possible, you'll have to, with curiosity, talk about it.
Right.
And often the conversation just okay, why would you be into this? Like, what is the thing about it? Like, I don't know. Just like that conversation in and of itself is erotic.
Yeah.
Or it causes you to be like, ooh, I'm not talking about that. And then that is where you're holding secrets. And that is what we got to explore.
Okay.
And by the way, just let me tell you, I did this. We've done this several times over the course of our marriage, but we did this once. And the first one I drew out, you know what it was? 30 minutes of French kissing. And I looked at my wife and I was like, are you for real? And she said, it started a whole conversation about, dude, when we were in college, we used to just kiss. We'd hold hands and just kiss. And it reminded her of a time when I wasn't so burdened down by work and there weren't kids everywhere and I was free and I would just randomly kiss her. And it didn't have to be this big product. And so she painted an entire picture of laughter and joy and free and back and forth. And it wasn't some exotic sex act. It was way deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so deciding we're going to do these little things. So to answer your question, yes, I think it's important that couples trust each other enough and default to curiosity 99% of the time and judgment 1% of the time, and build a world where we can talk about just about anything. And you, dude, have to have the discipline that if one of her friends raises her eyebrow at you or somebody at work texts you and you think, I can't wait to text them back, you have to have the discipline to stop. And that might mean that I'm going to have an image or a picture or a thought of my wife that when I say, no, I'm not having that. I'm not entertaining this thought. I'm not going down the rabbit hole of this fantasy, but I will think of this. That's discipline. And by the way, over time, if you create eros in your home, if you create playfulness and joy in your house and sensuality in your interactions, then doing the dishes becomes a gift at the altar of desire for your marriage. Filling up your wife's car with gas on Sunday night so that she has the whole week, right? That becomes a gift on the altar of this relationship. It's not just about, hey, what are you wearing? And by the way, what are you wearing comes up a lot more when those kind of things. But that's about sitting down and going, okay, what are brakes and what are gas pedals?
Okay.
How about this? I want you and your wife to read the book, Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. I want y'all to read it together. It's a
Come As You Are.
It's a book written to women, but I have found men all over the country going, dude, I had no idea. It was so instructive and helpful. So I want y'all to read that book together. Have her read a chapter ahead because she might say, yeah, we're not talking about this. And then y'all gonna have that conversation.
Okay. I'll do that.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
And by the way, stop with it's been a good month. Just stop looking at pornography, dude. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
And if you can't, or if you find yourself, dude, I'm just locked in, then dig to the underneath. What is it about the world you have created where I've got to have some sort of escape from it? I've got to I've created a life that I don't feel alive, and this is just a cheap hit of aliveness. Because I want people, individuals and couples, and I want people to build aliveness. Because it's that scrolling, that numb, dead-eyed, it's just the way life is, that I just rail against because it's not true. Yes, life is boring. Yes, life is repetitive. Yes, life is ugh. And then we get to make choices. Hopefully that was helpful, brother. I want you to change the entire spirit of your household. And have your wife call me. If y'all want to both call me together and we can walk through some things together, go for it. But don't ever not look at your wife if you feel I just want to look her in the eye and kiss her and tell her I love her. Do that. Do that.